Here's something most visitors to Stonehenge never get told. The people who built it were almost completely wiped out within a few centuries of finishing it. Not by war, not by plague, by something far stranger, and DNA evidence only confirmed it in the last few years. We'll get to that, but first, let's talk about the stones themselves, because even that part of the story is stranger than most people realize. Stonehenge wasn't built in one go. It was built, rebuilt, and modified over roughly 1,500 years, starting around 3000 BC, with major changes continuing until about 1500 BC. To put that in perspective, that's a longer stretch of construction and modification than separates us today from the fall of the Roman Empire. Multiple generations of people, who never met each other, kept returning to this one field in southern England to keep building. And here's the detail that still amazes engineers today. The smaller stones at Stonehenge, known as bluestones, weren't sourced locally. They were quarried from the Preseli Hills in Wales, roughly 150 miles away. That's not a short trip. That's hauling multi-ton stones across rivers, hills, and open country, with no wheels, no metal tools, and no draft animals confirmed to have been used for the job. Some researchers believe the stones were partly transported by water, using rafts along rivers and coastline, then dragged the rest of the way over land, using timber sledges and rollers. Here's where it gets strange. In 2024, researchers made a discovery that upended even the accepted story about the bluestones. The altar stone, a large flat sandstone slab lying at the centre of the monument, long assumed to have come from Wales like the bluestones, was actually traced through detailed mineral analysis to a source hundreds of miles further away, in northeast Scotland. That means Stonehenge wasn't just built with materials from one distant region. It pulled stone from opposite corners of what's now the United Kingdom, requiring some form of long-distance transport or trade network stretching across almost the entire length of Britain, at a time most people imagine as isolated, disconnected farming communities with no contact beyond their own valley. But the bigger stones, the massive upright sarsens that most people picture when they think of Stonehenge, came from much closer, an area called West Woods, about 15 miles north. Each one weighs an average of 25 tons. Some are estimated to weigh over 40. And they weren't just stood upright, they were carved with precision joints, mortise and tenon joints, the same woodworking technique still used in modern carpentry, locking the horizontal lintel stones onto the vertical uprights so they wouldn't shift or fall, even after thousands of years of British weather. So why go to all this trouble? This is where the real debate begins, because we genuinely don't have a single confirmed answer. For decades, Stonehenge was popularly imagined as a Druid temple. That theory doesn't hold up archaeologically. The Druids, as far as we know, emerged more than 2,000 years after construction began, meaning Stonehenge was already ancient history to them, not something they built. The leading modern theories point in several directions at once, and the evidence supports more than one purpose simultaneously. First, it's an astronomical calendar. The monument is precisely aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. This wasn't guesswork. The alignment is accurate enough that it had to be deliberately engineered, requiring generations of careful sky observation before a single sarsen stone was raised. Second, and this is the part that tends to surprise people, Stonehenge appears to have functioned as a burial ground, and not a small one. Cremated remains representing an estimated 150 to 200 individuals have been found buried at the site, spanning centuries of use. That makes Stonehenge possibly the largest known Neolithic cemetery in Britain. Researchers now believe it may have functioned partly as a monument to unify ancestors and living communities, a place built specifically to hold the memory of the dead in a form that would outlast any single lifetime. Third, unification. Nearby excavations at a site called Durrington Walls, just 2 miles from Stonehenge, revealed a massive settlement, one of the largest Neolithic villages ever found in Britain, along with evidence of huge feasting events involving pigs transported from as far away as Scotland. That detail matters because it suggests Stonehenge wasn't built by one isolated local tribe. It may have been a shared project, drawing people and resources from across the island, possibly timed around the winter solstice, when the feasting evidence is strongest. Now here's the detail that actually connects back to where we started, the dark part of this story. Around 2500 BC, right in the middle of Stonehenge's active construction and use, something dramatic happened to the population of Britain. A new group of people, associated with what archaeologists call the Bell Beaker culture, arrived from continental Europe. And ancient DNA research published in the last decade shows something startling. Within just a few centuries of their arrival, an estimated 90% of the genetic ancestry of the British population had been replaced. That's not a slow blending of cultures over many generations. That's a near total genetic turnover in a remarkably short window of time. The people whose ancestors had quarried bluestones from Wales, hauled sarsen from West Woods, and cremated their dead at Stonehenge for centuries were, genetically speaking, almost entirely gone within a few hundred years, replaced by a new population with different pottery, different burial customs, and different genetic ancestry traced back to the Eurasian steppe by way of continental Europe. We still don't know exactly what caused this. Some researchers point to disease. These newcomers may have carried illnesses the existing population had no immunity to, similar to what happened in the Americas thousands of years later. Others suggest conflict, displacement, or simply that the newcomers' technology and lifestyle gave them a demographic advantage that let their population outcompete and absorb the existing one over a few generations. The honest answer is that archaeologists are still debating this, and the genetic data alone can't fully explain the why, only the staggering scale of the what. And here's the detail that makes this genuinely unsettling. The incoming Beaker population kept using Stonehenge. They didn't destroy it. They didn't abandon it. They continued building and modifying the monument for centuries after arriving, meaning the people finishing Stonehenge's later phases were, genetically, almost entirely disconnected from the people who started it. The monument's builders essentially vanished from the genetic record, while their creation stood untouched, inherited by a population that had nearly replaced them. So when you look at Stonehenge today, you're not looking at the work of one continuous culture across 1,500 years. You're looking at the combined effort of at least two genetically distinct populations of people, separated by a population replacement event so significant that it remains one of the most dramatic demographic shifts ever documented anywhere in prehistoric Europe, who nonetheless kept returning to the same stones for the same reasons across more than a millennium. And maybe that's the real mystery of Stonehenge. Not just how they moved the stones, or exactly what the calendar tracked, or who's buried beneath it, but the fact that whatever this place meant, it meant enough that even when almost everyone who built it was gone, replaced by strangers from across the sea, the people who came after kept coming back, and kept building, as if the meaning of the place had outlived the people who gave it that meaning in the first place.